Yes, I know you had another question on problem number 5, which we are about to complete right now. Okay, it says during a drought, the average water level in a retention pond decreased linearly with time. Okay, so we have the number of days and we have the water level. It says let y represent the water level in feet and x represent the number of days since the beginning of the drought. Use the ordered pairs given to write a linear equation to estimate the water level based on the number of days since the drought began. Express numbers as decimals or integers. Now they ask us for the linear model. Now if you look here with the linear model, we're supposed to, well, let's just look at it like this. First of all, the linear model's equation is the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. Now we know that m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Okay, so now this is what we would do. We would take the 2 points that we see. Now we can take these points, we could technically put them in the calculator, but let's do this by hand. We had 3, 6, and we had 23, 1. These are the only 2 exact points that's really given to us in this example. So we could do the slope equation, which is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Now remember, with 2 ordered pairs, both ordered pairs have an x and a y. The first ordered pair is the sub 1s, the second ordered pairs is the sub 2s. So we substitute. Y sub 2 is 1 minus y sub 1 is 6. X sub 2 is 23 and x sub 1 is 3. So 1 minus 6 is negative 5. 23 minus 3 is 20. Negative 5 over 20 becomes a negative 1/4 or a negative 0.25. Okay, that is our slope. So far with our equation, we have our slope, which is a negative 0.25. We replace the m in this equation, and that'll be x plus b. Now we have to go through and solve for b now. Now to solve for b, we would take one of the 2 original ordered pairs we had, the 3, 6 or the 23, 1. I would take the 3, 6. I'll write that here on the side. And then we would substitute. 6 would substitute in for y. And then 3 would substitute in for x. So we have 6 equals a negative 0.75 plus b. Now we would add 0.75 to both sides. So we have 6.75 is equal to b, which is our y-intercept. So our final equation would be y is equal to a negative 0.25x plus the 6.75. And that was supposed to be your final answer for part A. Now we go here to part B. It says use the linear equation to approximate the water level after 21 days. So we know x here represents the amount of days. So for B, we will have y is equal to a negative 0.25 times the 21 days plus 6.75. Now when you put this in your calculator, it would end up giving you 1.5 feet when you put all of this in your calculator. So we could look at that now. I'll just put in decimal so you can visually see it. So it'll be negative 0.25 times 21 plus 6.75. And it gave us 1.5. Okay, now that's B. Now C. Use the linear equation to approximate the water level after 3 days. Round your answer to 2 decimal places. So we would basically go with the same equation here, but instead of 21 days, we'll replace that with 3 days. and that would give us 6. So basically we have y equals negative 0.25 times 3 plus 6.75, and y would be 6 feet. Okay, number 4, what is the slope of the line? The slope with this equation we know is the negative 0.25. So D is a negative 0.25, because remember the value connected to x is your slope when you're doing slope-intercept form. So now we come here to E. Oh, I'm sorry, that was D. So now we go here, to E. Oh, they also ask us, what does the slope mean in the context of this problem? The slope means that the water level decreases. And you got that correct. And because since it's negative, it decreases at this amount per day. All right, now we go here to E. E states, what does the slope mean in the context of the problem? The x-intercept is, wait a minute, what does the slope mean in the context of the problem? That is weird. What does the slope mean in the context of this problem? Now, I believe that this problem is very awkwardly worded, because it actually was a slope mean in the context of this problem, but it comes and asks you the x-intercept. So let's solve for the x-intercept. So the x-intercept is when y is equal to 0. So we will put in 0 for y, and then we would solve for x. Now, this would mean we would subtract 6.75 on both sides. So we have negative 6.75 is equal to a negative 0.25x. We divide each side by a negative 0.25. And then x is equal to, now we know this is going to be positive. Okay, so on Desmos, we would type in a negative 6.75 divided by a negative 0.25, which would give us 27. So 27 is equal to x. So our x-intercept would be 27, 0. That would be our x-intercept. Now we look at the second part. This indicates that it would take blank days for the water level to reach blank feet. So that means, let me come up here to okay. So what this means is, I'm going to come up here to a little bit of a blank spot here. This x-intercept, I'm just denoted here, which is 27.0. It asks us what it means. That means that in 27 days, the water level will reach 0 feet, because this is 27 days, 0 feet. And that would answer this second portion here. This indicates that it would take 27 days for the water level to reach 0 feet. Now it says the linear trend blank continue indefinitely. It cannot continue indefinitely because we have an endpoint here. We cannot go negative feet, so it cannot continue indefinitely. And that is basically it for this problem.